If you are a woman who is anti-abortion, that's one thing. You have the right to feel how you want to feel about abortions. But if you are actually planning on going down and voting that other women lose their rights to their own bodily autonomy, then Houston, we have a problem. Because I don't think you guys understand the gravity of what you're doing as a woman. Because if you are a woman and you are voting against or voting for the infringement of someone else's rights, you are anti-woman. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's nothing to consider. Your personal belief, your religion, and all of that has nothing to do with the next woman. It doesn't. I want you guys to take a second and think about what I'm about to say, and I want you guys to consider this. The vast majority of the women who are going to suffer under these anti-abortion laws are going to be women who actually wanted to keep their babies. Because no matter how much you plan for a baby with your family or with the whole in vitro or surrogate process, no matter how much planning you do, you will never, ever be able to plan for complications. Ever. Right? And these complications like preeclampsia or ectopic pregnancy and all that, those are going to be the things that hit these women who wanted their babies. And while the doctors are somewhere trying to figure out with the committee if it's safe to perform this abortion on this woman, because it's either her life or the baby's, or the baby is already not viable or whatever, she's going to be dying. She got like 3 minutes. She's going to bleed out in 3 minutes. And these are going to be your sisters, your moms, your cousins, your best friends, your favorite co-workers, your nieces. These are going to be the women who suffer. Because women like me, who are pro-choice, pro-abortion, and who are also child-free, we're going to have an abortion no matter what. I'm going to say that again. They could pass the law to restrict abortion in all 50 states. And baby, I'm going to have an abortion anyway. If I ever got pregnant. Now, I would have to, the only way I would get pregnant these days is if I was raped. I'm just making that very clear. But even so, even if I had a oops situation, I'm not going to be having a baby. Many of us, child-free women especially, some of us have the means to just hop on a plane and go out the country if we have to. We're just going to get up and hop on a plane and go to Canada or Mexico or somewhere, wherever, right? To visit friends and family, right? Everybody doesn't have that ability to do that, right? And I'm not saying that to sound arrogant or anything, but I am being very honest about that. I don't want children, so I will not be forced to have a child, okay? And if they took our passports away and restricted us being able to leave the country, there are certain plants and herbs that will also take care of the issue. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, the people that's going to hurt the most are going to be you guys. And the only reason why I'm making a big deal about this is because I'm not myself, personally, I'm not that worried about the abortion laws, right? I am for other women, but I'm not for myself. What worries me is that you guys think it's going to just end there, and it's not. When they become successful with one law at the hands of y'all's help, women, the anti-women, right? They're going to just keep stripping laws back. Because there was a lot of women who didn't believe that they were ever going to turn Roe versus Wade, because that's a part of the Constitution. They're not going to change the Constitution. And look at what the fuck they did, right? They absolutely changed it. And we're talking about men who are on power trips. They will do anything when they're desperate to control and conquer and reign over women. So they'll change it all. And they'll keep stripping rights away little by little until we turn around and boom, we're back in the 20s. Not the 50s, but the 20s, where we couldn't even vote. Y'all are crazy if y'all think that they won't keep stripping our rights away, because they blame us for the fall of society. Everything that men do and go through, the women are blamed for this. Now they're going to blame us for the declining birth rates, which what smart woman wants to have babies in this type of situation? I'm not trying to be funny, right? The ones who are paying attention are like, hell no. The child-free women, we're like, hell no, right? I want you guys to stop and think about this. It's one thing to have your own personal view and your religious beliefs and your moral beliefs, whatever. It's another thing to have the arrogance to think that you have the right to have a say-so over every other woman's bodies on the planet. I mean, who the hell do some of y'all think y'all are? You guys have to take your ego out of this and think about all of those little girls that are raped by their mother's boyfriends or trusted family members or somebody at the daycare or whatever, right? That they're not even, they're still children themselves. Think about the women like me. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just saying women like me who don't even bother anybody. Y'all said close your legs. I did. And something happened to me and I was raped. Is that fair for women like me that don't even bother anybody? Y'all can feel how y'all want to feel about me. But other women out there who didn't bother anybody, right? And something happened to them. I just want you guys to really think about this. They're not going to stop with the abortion laws. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. I don't want to go back to a time where we need a man to survive, right? Or that we have to live with a guy in order to get a house. We can't buy a house by ourselves anymore. Or we can't have bank accounts by ourselves. I don't want to go back to those times. I don't know about y'all. Some of y'all are lazy as fuck. And some of y'all are like losers and you don't want to do anything with your life. That's fine. The rest of us want to. So I feel like we should always be able to have the option to work and take care of ourselves. I don't want to be under the thumb of a man. Because most of y'all's boyfriends and husbands are beating y'all's asses and cheating on you and giving you diseases and stuff. And the whole thing is I'm choosing peace. The women that are choosing peace, we shouldn't be forced to deal with this stuff. But this is where we're going to head right back to if you guys continue to be anti-woman and vote against your own interests as well as the interests of other women. And I want you guys to think about that. And I'll leave y'all with that and I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm glad she put this comment up because I was actually going to speak about this as well. I want you women to understand the types of women who are anti-woman, right? We know that these women are male identified, they're pick-me's. And I think the biggest issue with the types of women that these women are, they're like either really mentally gone, religious, like from a religious standpoint, like they're like too far gone, beyond help. They are literally a lost cause, just because sometimes some people can be realistically religious, I guess. And then you have the ones who are just, I mean, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? And you have the ones that they're jealous, right? They do be on power trips because it's like, if I had to face my responsibility, all the other women should have to too. That's how they're looking at it. I'm a miserable bitch. And so I think all the other women are miserable or should be miserable as well. These women are some types of women to watch out for too, because if you really think about it, any woman who's that far gone that will vote against her own interests as well as the interests of other women, their daughters, their nieces, their so-called best friends' daughters, their best friends, right? These women claim to actually love and care for women, but how can you when you're helping to vote for a woman and other women around you that you claim to love and care for to lose their bodily autonomy? So I want you guys to think about that. If you come across a woman who's anti-abortion and she also plans on voting against women having their rights, that's two components, because there's some women out there who say they're anti-abortion, but they'll never vote for it to be a ban. Do you know what I mean? They'll just be like, no, I would never do it, but I support other women if they do it or whatever, right? But if they are both, they are anti and they plan on voting to back that up, these are not your friends, okay? These are not your friends. It could be your mom. She's your enemy at that point. I'm not trying to be funny. It could be your daughter. It could be your best friend. Women like this are not they don't care about you. Because if you were somewhere in a hospital dying and getting ready to bleed out or something, what are they going to do to help you, right? They voted for you to die. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but that's how y'all got to look at it. if you lose your life or end up in a life or death situation, your so-called friends who are anti-abortion and who voted for it, they signed your death certificate. So I think, and I hate for us to be divided, because I want us to all come together, but unfortunately there are going to be women that are going to be on the other side of the fence, and I just want you guys to know that these women are not your friends either, and to tread lightly with these issues. We need to support each other, but like I said, there's always going to be pick-me's, right? Just like the 4B movement, there's going to be a lot of women who've already been, a lot of us have already been 4Bing, right? And there's always going to be women who are going to be pick-me's, who are desperate for attention. So those are the women, like I said in the previous video, that we need to stay far the fuck away from. It just is what it is. So keep your eyes open, be smart, make the right decision. I'll catch y'all in the next one.